I am your father.
What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour!
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Back to the Future.
Love Rosie.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Owl's Moving Castle.
Hercules.
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
The Notebook.
I've always loved storytelling. As a kid, nothing brought me more joy than sitting with my parents and watching movies with them. Film is a comforting escape for both the audience and the creative minds behind them. Inspired by this, I asked 4 friends the impact that film has had on their lives.
Filmmaking is so important to me because, like a photograph, it captures things, but instead it takes the best elements of photography and acting and music and writing, and it puts it all into one, and I think it's one of the prettiest and biggest expressions of art that I know.
I think it's really important to create films in order to tell people's stories and gain perspective of what they think on certain topics or even experiences, especially relatable things. Things that audiences can relate to are always more heartfelt and get your audience engaged. And I think if you're able to make your audience feel something through the screen, you've done your job.
Stop! Yeah! Come on! Get off me! Hey! Breathe! I don't want to breathe! Stop! Yeah! That was you! You should have died!
One day shooting a non-union film, we were on set for about 23 hours and it really tested everybody. But I feel like it redefined my life because in the last hours of the night, I realized, I wouldn't be here if I didn't love doing this. I realized I had a great passion for it. And a big part of it was the storytelling aspect, and we were all doing our job. We all had something to get done, and we just needed to tell this story. It just took forever. There was a lot of delays out of our control, and it's a lot different from being a musical theater actor, because that's where I come from, and that's why I really feel like this redefined my love for film.
I also think it's important to be well-rounded. I typically do onstage acting, but I have been able to work on 2 student-led films. I've done camera work for one of them and sound crew for the other. I've been sound crew for this current film that my friend is working on, and being able to be behind the scenes on things from an actor's perspective is so eye-opening, and I'm so glad I'm able to do that and be given an opportunity for that, because while acting on stage it's a completely different realm from being behind the camera, and there's something about seeing the behind the scenes of the finished product that just it captures my attention, and I'm so glad that I'm able to learn and to gain more knowledge on the behind the scenes of films. And I think it's really important to be well-rounded, especially like if you're going into the industry. And I think that's why it's important. I think it's important to tell stories, and it's important to teach and to learn and grow from these processes.
Creating and writing stories has always been something meaningful to me. Ever since I was a kid, I've always loved telling stories, and I grew up and I thought, what a better way to do that than to get it on camera? One of my biggest priorities is to help people, and so I started doing that by making films that are relatable in terms of, when people grieve, when they lose a loved one, or when they are alone and don't have anybody else to depend on. I started doing that, and I send it out into the public, and it's helped a lot of people, and I feel very, very good about it. And so I feel like I've been doing a really good job about, sticking with my plan and sticking to my purpose of making my films and writing my scripts.
My dad in particular had a little production company when I was a kid, and I remember he helped me produce this little commercial for It was a brand of cereal that I had to create in 4th grade, and I can either just create the box or I could create a commercial or a flyer. No one else chose commercial, but I did, and I wrote a script for it, and my dad helped me shoot it and edit it. And he also, around that time, taught me how to create stop motion, and he definitely had a big influence on me pursuing acting or filmmaking in general. I had to make sure you were okay. I'd say my main goal is I'd love to provide medicine to people by means of entertainment and telling stories. And I'd also love to hear that something I created or that I did inspired someone to do the same.
Film is one of the most beautiful forms of storytelling. I think it's important that people understand the significance this art form has had on people like me. And I hope that it continues to inspire a generation of talented artists. So, there's only one question that remains.